the Sheikh said it is not part of Iman at all to go to the sorcerers and the magicians and the fortune tellers and to rush to go to them in times of distress or calamities. Rather, the believer, the true believer, rushes and runs to Allah, flees to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone, and he uses the ruqa, the words of dhikr and remembrance and dua from the Quran and the Sunnah, seeking the help of Allah, relying totally upon Allah. As for one to resort to the myths and to the magicians and the sorcerers, then they will corrupt his religion for him. They will corrupt his iman for him. So this is something that should not be. And the reason or the cause leading the people to go to these fortune tellers and sorcerers, it is the ignorance of the reality of the oneness of Allah and the reality of the Sharia, the Islamic law, and ignorance of the condition of those people of falsehood, those magicians and fortune tellers. Those people, they turn to the magicians and the fortune tellers, they depend on them, wal-'iyadhu billah, more than they depend on Allah. When the people of Jahiliyyah, the people before Islam, they used to, if they are in a time of distress, they will turn to Allah alone. They will turn to Allah alone. The people of Jahiliyyah, in times of ease, they will turn to other than Allah or Allah and others. But then in times of distress, they will turn to Allah alone. But you find these people over time, very regrettably, in the time of distress, in time of calamity, that's when they turn to other than Allah. They turn to those sorcerers and magicians. So those people, they order them to commit different types of shirk, calling upon Allah or slaughtering for other than Allah, and many other things that go against the Islamic creed or Islamic belief. And this, very regrettably, has been widespread in the East and the West in the world. Rather, there are now TV stations that show up on the satellite dishes that are specifically made for spreading these myths and these falsehoods. So you find the people sitting for hours, long hours, listening to these myths and those liars or those sorcerers and magicians and fortune tellers, and they believe in them. And there is no doubt that sihr, the sorcery or magic, is a knowledge that is not beneficial knowledge. That is a harmful knowledge, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, they learned from them, that is the sorcery, that which they use to separate between a man and his wife. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said at the end of the ayah that the one who depends on that or uses that, that is the sorcery, he has no share in the next life. He has no share in the next life. The Sheikh said that I paused at this point for a longer time, because I know that there are so many who are depending on the magicians in our time. If those people, they turn to the book of Allah, they pondered about the book of Allah, then they will find in the book of Allah the healing for the ailments of their body and their souls. The Sheikh then said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clarified the next cause or next factor that leads to success and to be saved from failure, and that is the righteous action or the righteous deed. The Sheikh said that the action cannot be called righteous except if there are two conditions that are met. The first one is for the deed to be done sincerely for the sake of Allah. Secondly, for the action to be matching the guidance of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you are sincere but you did not match the Sunnah, then your action is rejected and not acceptable from you. And if you followed the Sunnah but then you committed shirk, you did it for other than Allah, or you had show off in it, you did it to be seen by others, you did not seek the face of Allah, then your action will be rejected and will not be accepted from you. These two conditions, they have to be there. These are two requirements for the action to be acceptable by Allah. You have to be sincere and you have to follow the sunnah. These two conditions, they resemble the two wings of a bird. The bird, as you know, cannot fly without having the two wings. Likewise, these two conditions have to be met for the action to be a righteous deed. And this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, or this is what Allah mentioned in the ayah where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says what means. So the one who hopes to meet his Lord, then let him do a righteous deed and let him not associate any partners in worship with Allah. Also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in another ayah, give good news or glad tidings to my servants, those who listen to a statement and follow the best of it. Those who listen to a statement and follow the best of it. The scholars said regarding the best of it, here they said that it is the correct, that is what is correct. The Sheikh said that the most correct, or for the action to be correct or valid, it has to be matching the sunnah, along with it being sincere for Allah. It has to be according to the sunnah. The Sheikh said that there are people who do not care whether they match the sunnah or not in their behavior, in their ibadah, in their worship, in the dhikr that they perform. They do not care whether they match the sunnah or they don't. And those, the Prophet ﷺ is warning them against going against his order and giving the sunnah their back. The Sheikh said, he mentioned the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, the one who innovates anything in this affair of ours, innovates or introduces anything new in Islam, in the religion of Islam, that which is not part of it, then it is to be rejected. Whatever he newly introduced in Islam, whatever innovation he brought up, then that is to be rejected. And the Prophet ﷺ, when he used to give lectures, he used to mention the speech of the need, the same speech that the Sheikh started with. And in that speech, there is clear warning against innovation and inventions in the religion. As Rasulullah ﷺ said in that speech, every innovation is going astray, and every going astray is going to be, or every misguidance is going to be in the fire. All of this warning is warning against innovations, against bid'ah or heresy. That is because Rasulullah ﷺ says what means the one who does an action that does not match ours, that does not match the actions of the Prophet ﷺ, then it is to be rejected. Also, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala warned those who go against what the Messenger ﷺ says, or the affair of the Messenger. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said what means, let those who go against his order, that is the order of the Messenger ﷺ, let those who go against his order be cautioned, lest a fitna befalls them, or lest a severe torment will befall them, or befalls them. Now the Sheikh said that fitna, the word fitna here, it means, as according to the scholars, misguidance or falling into shirk, polytheism, waliyadu billah. So let those who go against his order be cautioned, lest a fitna, lest misguidance or polytheism, they will fall into that, or they will be falling, or they will be punished severely. So the one who gives the sunnah his back, if you give your sunnah, if you give the sunnah of the Messenger ﷺ your back, you abandon it, O Abdullah, O servant of Allah, then we fear for you that you will fall into temptation, you will fall into misguidance, and Allah may cause your heart to go astray. That is because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala linked and attached guidance to the obedience of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said what means, and if you obey him, that is the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then you will be guided. Also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says what means, and whoever contends with the Messenger after the guidance have been clarified to him and follows a way other than the way of the believers, then we will let him go, or we will let him stay or be stuck into what he has chosen for himself. We will let him go astray as he chose that for himself, and we will burn him in the fire of hell, and what a worse abode that is. The Sheikh said here that the one who contends with the Messenger after the guidance has been clarified to him and follows a way other than the way of the believers. The way of the believers here is referring to the companions. The believers, what is meant by them here is the companions. So the one who takes a path different from the way of the believers, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will let him down. He will not give any care to him. He does not, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not care about that person in which valley he got destroyed. So the one who turns his back to the companions and to their way, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not care about him. The one who contends with the Messenger and follows a way other than the believers, then the Sheikh said, in this life, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will treat him in this manner. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not care about him, does not mind what happens to him. And in the next life, the Sheikh said, Allah will burn him in the fire of hell, and what a worse abode that is. So the righteous action cannot be righteous except if it was pleasing to Allah Azza wa Jal. And for it to be pleasing to Allah, it has to be sincerely done for His sake, and it has to be done according to the Sunnah. Otherwise, the Shaykh said, the one who is doing deeds, then let him not sweat and toil. Let him not tire himself by doing deeds, because if he is doing deeds like this without sincerity or without following the Messenger ﷺ, then it will be, his deeds will be as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said about some people, that they are doing deeds and they are laboring to do deeds, amilatun nasiba, yet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says regarding those people, although they are doing deeds and they are laboring to do them, Allah said about them that they are burning in a fire that is severely hot. So this person does deeds and he's tiring himself, but then he does not receive any reward and he is not receiving any guidance, or he is not upon guidance. So the deed, for it to be righteous, it has to be done with sincerity, and it has to be according to the Sunnah for the person to be saved from being in a state of loss, and for him to be successful.
تتميما لبيان عوامل فلاح الإنسان ونجاته من الخسران، ولا شك ولا ريب أن هذا مقصد شريف يسعى إليه كل عاقل، أن ينجو من الخسران وأن يكون من أهل الفلاح. العامل الثالث من عوامل فلاح الإنسان التواصي بالحق. لا يكفي أن تقول أنا صالح في نفسي، أنا مؤمن أعمل الصالحات، إنه أمر حسن، ولكن اعلم أن عليك وظيفة منيفة شريفة، وأن عليك مهمة، وأنك من أمة محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، وأنك من ورثة النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. فعليك أن تحمل هم الدعوة، وعليك أن تبلغ دين الله، عليك أن تدعو إلى الله، عليك أن تأمر بالمعروف وتنهى عن المنكر، عليك أن توصي بالحق وتتواصى بالحق. ولهذا قال ربنا عز وجل: وتواصوا بالحق. والحق هو الشرع والدين، وشرع الله كله حق، لأن الله عز وجل يقول: وبالحق أنزلناه وبالحق نزل. ولأن الله تعالى يقول: وقل جاء الحق وزهق الباطل. فكل ما أنزله الله من وحي الكتاب ووحي السنة حق، وكل ما خالف كتاب الله وسنة رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فهو باطل. فواجب على المسلمين إذا أرادوا النجاة من الخسران أن يتعاونوا على البر والتقوى لا على الإثم والعدوان، وأن ينصح بعضهم لبعض، وأن يوصي بعضهم بعضا بالحق. وكان الصحابة رضي الله عنهم يأخذ أحدهم بيد صاحبه ويقول: تعالى نؤمن بربنا ساعة. وكانوا نصحا ينصح بعضهم لبعض عملا بهدي القرآن وهدي السنة. وقد قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم: من رأى منكم منكرا فليغيره بيده، فإن لم يستطع فبلسانه، فإن لم يستطع فبقلبه، وذلك أضعف الإيمان. فلا مناص لك يا عبد الله أن تقول: لا يعنيني الأمر ولست مسؤولا، بل لابد أن تدعو إلى الله وأن تنصح وتذكر قدر وسعك وقدر طاقتك، إذ لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. أما أن تقول: لا يعنيني الأمر، ولا ترفع رأسا ولا تنكر المنكر ولو بقلبك، فقد جاء في الحديث الوعيد على ذلك، حيث قال عليه الصلاة والسلام: وليس وراء ذلك حبة خردل من إيمان. إذا رأيت المنكر ولم تنكره ولو بقلبك وشعورك فهذا خطر عليك، يهدد إيمانك ويهدد عملك الصالح. ثم ذكر الله عز وجل التواصي بالصبر بعد التواصي بالحق، لأن كل من تصدى إلى الدعوة إلى الله، وقد أسمعنا فضيلة الشيخ الآيات قبل أن نشرع بتفسيرها، آيات التي تلاها جزا الله خير: ومن أحسن قولا ممن دعا إلى الله. أي لا أحد أحسن منه قولا، لأنه يعرف الخلق بالخالق ويعبد الناس لربهم ويدل الخلق على ربهم ومعبودهم، فرتبته أعلى الرتب ووظيفته أشرف الوظائف. وهذه الأمة مسؤولة عن دين الله ومسؤولة عن تبليغ دين الله، وإنه لذكر لك ولقومك وسوف تسألون. فكل من تصدى للدعوة إلى الله ونصيحة الناس وتذكير الناس لا بد أن يبتلى، لا بد أن يؤذى إيذاء بدنيا حسيا أو معنويا. وإذا كان أنبياء الله وهم أشرف الناس وأشرف الخلق قد أوذوا في أبدانهم وأوذوا في أهليهم وأوذوا إيذاء شتى وصنوف الإيذاء، فمنهم من قتل ومنهم من أخرج ومنهم من ضرب ومنهم من سجن ومنهم من أوذي، فصبروا على ما أصابهم كما قالوا لأقوامهم ولنصبرن على ما آذيتمونا، فلا بد من الصبر، فرأس الأمر الصبر. قال الله تعالى: وجعلنا منهم أئمة يهدون بأمرنا لما صبروا وكانوا بآياتنا يوقنون. وهل تنال الإمامة في الدين إلا بالصبر واليقين؟ فكل من دعا إلى الحق لا بد أن يثبت عليه وأن يصبر عليه، والعاقبة للتقوى. ولمن صبر وغفر إن ذلك لمن عزم الأمور. والله يأمر نبيه أن يصبر كما صبر إخوانه من قبله من الأنبياء، فاصبر كما صبر أولو العزم من الرسل. والصحابة رضي الله عنهم صبروا على البلاء والأذى. بلال رضي الله عنه كان يلقى في الرمضاء ويوضع على صخره على صدره الصخر فلا يكفف عن قول أحد. ماذا فعل المشركون بياسر وسمية زوجته وعمار؟ ماذا فعل المشركون بخباب بن الأرت الذي ألقوه على الجمر ووطأوا على صدره فانطفأ الجمر بودك ظهره أي بشحم ظهره، فجاء إلى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وهو في ظل الكعبة متوسد برد له وقد كشف عن ظهره، فقال: يا رسول الله ألا تستنصر لنا، ألا تدعو لنا؟ فنظر إليه النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم، أراد أن يعلمه ويعلم أصحابه دروسا في الصبر والفداء والتضحية والبلاء. قال: لقد كان في من قبلكم يؤتى بالرجل أي الرجل الصالح يأتي به أعداؤه فيحفرون له حفرة، ويؤتى بالمنشار فيفرق نصفين، ويؤتى بأمشاط الحديد فيؤخذ لحمه عن عظمه، ما يصده ذلك عن دينه. أنتم يا أمة محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم أولى وأحرى بالصبر والتحمل من أولئك. أيها الإخوة، لقد ورثنا الدين وراثة، ولهذا هان الدين في أعيننا ولم نضحي لديننا. فإذا تعارض الدين مع الدنيا ألقينا عياذا بالله بالدين وراء ظهورنا وأقبلنا على الدنيا. إن تعارضت أحكام الله مع شهواتنا وأهوائنا ضربنا بأحكام الله عرض الحائط إلا من رحم الله. فهل هذا هو الإيمان المطلوب الواجب الذي يريده الله منا؟ وهل هذا هو الصبر على الحق والتواصي بهذا الصبر؟ يقال أن الإمام محمد رحمه الله في فتنة خلق القرآن كان من أسباب تثبيته بعد الله أنه مر به أحد المجرمين مسجونين الذي كان يضرب ويسجن ولا يغير ولا يبدل مما هو عليه، فقال له: يا إمام أثبت، فإني والله على الباطل ولا زلت ثابتا، فكيف أنت وأنت صاحب حق ورسالة، فكان هذا أدعى لثباته. فإذا كان أهل الباطل يثبتون على باطلهم، أليس أهل الحق من باب أولى أن يتمسكوا بدينهم وأن يصبروا على ما يلقون في سبيل دعوة ربهم وفي سبيل إسلامهم وإيمانهم؟ وهل يثبت الإيمان في القلب إلا بالتضحية والجهاد وبذل الجهد؟ والله عز وجل يقول: والذين جاهدوا فينا لنهدينهم سبلنا. فلا بد أيها الإخوة من تحمل الأذى في سبيل الدعوة إلى الله، وفي سبيل النصح والتذكير، وفي سبيل هذا الدين. ولا بد من أن نجاهد أنفسنا وأن نثبت أمام الشهوات والشبهات وأمام المغريات، ونتمسك بديننا رغم غربة الحال والوصف ورغم غربة الديار. حتى لو كنا نعيش في بيئات بعيدة عن الإسلام، ينبغي لنا أن نظهر انتماءنا للإسلام، وأن نتمسك بإسلامنا وديننا، وأن نربي أبناءنا وأجيالنا على هذا الإسلام، وأن نوفر لهم المحاضن الإيمانية حتى يثبتوا بعدنا. وإلا إن تركناهم نهبا للشيطان وتركناهم نهبا للشهوات والمغريات، فإننا نكون قد جنينا عليهم جناية عظيمة، نكون قد جنينا عليهم جناية عظيمة. والله عز وجل سائلنا عما استرعانا، سائلنا عن أبنائنا وأحفادنا إلى أن تقوم الساعة. يا أيها الذين آمنوا قوا أنفسكم وأهليكم نارا وقودها الناس والحجارة. لا بد من الدعوة إلى الحق، لا بد من الصبر، لا بد من الثبات حتى الممات، حتى نكون من الفائزين ومن الفالحين، وحتى ننجي أنفسنا ونخلص أنفسنا وأهلينا من الخسران ومن النار. أسأل الله العظيم بأسمائه الحسنى وصفاته العليا أن يجعلني وإياكم من أهل الفلاح، وأن ينجيني وإياكم من الخسران والهوان، وأن يدخلني وإياكم الجنة تحت لواء المصطفى صلى الله عليه وسلم، إنه ولي ذلك والقادر عليه. ونسأل الله أن يثبتنا على دينه وطاعته وعلى الهداية إلى أن نلقاه، إنه ولي ذلك والقادر عليه. وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وآله وسلم، وبارك الله لي ولكم، والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. وإياك سيدي.
The Sheikh said that we continue, inshallah, to clarify the causes leading to success and being saved from being in a state of loss. The Sheikh said that this is no doubt a noble objective that every wise person is seeking, to be successful and to be saved from being lost. The third cause leading to success is counseling one another to stick to the truth. The Sheikh said that it is not sufficient for you to say, I am a believer, I do good deeds. This is something good, but then you should know that you have a noble duty, and that is and that you are part or a member of the Ummah, the nation of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and you are one of those who inherited the knowledge of Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. So you should carry along with you, you should have care for the da'wah. You should be worried that you should in terms of wanting to convey the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you should be one who calls to Allah. You should command what is good and forbid what is evil. What is upon you is like what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ. They counseled one another to stick to the truth. Al-Haqq, the truth, is the religion. It is the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The law of Allah, all of it is true. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, what means, and with the truth we sent it down, that is the Quran, and it came down in truth, or with the truth. Also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, what means, the truth has come and the falsehood has been invalidated. Anything or everything that Allah has sent down, whether of the revelation, whether it is the Quran or the Sunnah, all of it is true. Anything that goes against the book and the Sunnah, then it is false. So it is upon the Muslims to help one another to achieve righteousness and piety, not to they should not be helping one another to sinning and to transgressing. They should advise one another. The companions radiallahu anhum used to, one of them, he would take the hand of the other companion and he would say to him, let's come, let us believe in our Lord for some time. And they used to be advisors to one another. The Sheikh said that Rasulullah ﷺ said, whoever amongst you saw an evil, then let him change it with his hand. If he is unable, let him change it with his tongue. If he is unable, let him change it with his heart. And that is the weakest of faith. So you have no choice. You cannot say this matter does not concern me and I'm not responsible for it. Rather, you should call to Allah, you should advise and you should remind according to your ability. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, what means Allah does not burden a soul more than it can bear. As for you not forbidding the evil, not even with your heart, not forbidding the evil even with your heart, then there is a warning that has come from the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the hadith. Rasulullah ﷺ says about the one who does not dislike or change the munkar, the evil, with his heart. He said about him, he does not have even a mustard seed of iman in his heart. So if you do not change or hate or dislike the munkar, the evil, even with your heart, then this is a great danger, your iman, your faith is threatened and your good deeds are threatened. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, and this is the last cause leading to success, and they counseled one another to be patient. That is because the one who is busy calling to Allah or inviting to Allah, then he will be harmed in some way. As the Sheikh Hafidhullah, he recited the ayat in the Salatul Isha, the ayat which say what means, and who is better in statement than the one who calls to Allah and did righteous deeds and says, I am of the Muslimin, I am of the Muslims. The Sheikh said that it means here who is better in speech, meaning there is no one who is better in statement than the one who calls to Allah. Why? Because he makes the people worship their Lord. He makes the people know their Lord. So the level or the status of this person, the caller to Allah, is the highest of the levels. And his job is the most noble of the jobs. This ummah, the ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, they are responsible. They are responsible for conveying the religion of Allah. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, what means it is a reminder or a remembrance for you, Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, and for your people, and surely you will be questioned. So anyone who embarks to give da'wah, to call to Allah, he must be in one way or the other, he must be harmed, whether morally or physically. And the Prophet of Allah, the Prophets of Allah, alayhi salatu wasalam, they are the most noble of the created beings, yet they were harmed in their bodies, in their families, with the different types of harm. Amongst them are those who were killed. Amongst them are those who were expelled from their land. Amongst them are those who were beaten. Amongst them are those who were imprisoned. They were harmed. They were patient for whatever problems that happened to them. As they said to their people, as in the Quran, we will surely be patient for whatever harm you do to us. So we have to be patient, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said what means, and we made of them imams, leaders in the religion, when they were patient and they used to believe in our verses. The Sheikh said, how can you achieve leadership or imama? How can you achieve leadership in the religion? You cannot achieve it except through patience and certainty. Having sabr, patience, and yaqeen, certainty in belief. So everyone who calls to Allah, he must be patient. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says what means, and the one who is patient and the one who forgives others, then that is from the matters that are great matters that people of ambition aspire for. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also orders His messenger to be patient. Allah says to him, be patient, exactly like the messengers who are mighty, exactly like the messengers who had might were patient. Also the Sahaba, the companions of anhum, they were patient for whatever calamities, whatever harm they went through. Bilal radiallahu anh, he used to be put in the desert, on the dust. It was very hot, and then they will put on his chest a big rock, and he continues to say, Allah is one, Allah is one. What did the polytheists do to Yasir and Sumayya and Ammar radiallahu anhum? What did they do to Khabbab ibn al-Arat? They put him on hot coal. They put him on the hot coal, and then they stood on his chest to a point that the hot coal was, the fire of the hot coal was put out, was extinguished by the grease that came out of his body. So he went to the Prophet ﷺ, and he said to him, wouldn't you seek support for Allah, from Allah for us? Wouldn't you call Allah for us, make dua for us? So Rasulullah ﷺ wanted to teach the companions a lesson in being patient for whatever calamities they go through, and for sacrificing for the sake of Allah. So he told him that surely there were people who were before you from the previous nations. One of them will be brought, and he will be put in a hole, and he will be, his body will be split in half. His body will be split in half. And also they will bring iron rods, and they will basically iron combs, and they will comb his flesh out of his bones. So the Sheikh said, you, O Ummah of Muhammad, you, O nation of Muhammad ﷺ, you have more right, you are more deserving to be patient more than those previous nations. The Sheikh said that, dear brothers and sisters, we have inherited the religion, just basically inheritance from our fathers. This is why, we did not take it, seriously. We just inherited it. This is why we do not give it due care. If we find, many of us, if the religion, our deen, becomes in conflict with worldly pleasures, then we find many of us leave the religion and we just grab the dunya, we grab the worldly pleasures. If the legal rulings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down goes against our desires, then we turn our back to the legal rulings, except for those whom Allah has been merciful towards them. So is this what is required from us of the patience? It is said that Imam Ahmad alayhi rahmatullah, during the test that happened to him, the temptation of the call to the belief of the creation of the Quran, one of the causes leading him to be firm upon his position is that he saw one of the criminals who were imprisoned along with him, and that criminal, he was beaten and beaten, then he is imprisoned and beaten, while this person, that criminal, he was firm upon the misguidance that he was upon. So that criminal told Imam Ahmad, "O Imam Ahmad, be firm upon what you are upon, because I am upon falsehood, yet I am patient and I am firm on it. So how about you, while you are a man of truth? You need to be even more patient." If the people of falsehood, the Sheikh said, if the people of falsehood are so patient with their falsehood, or very patient being on their falsehood, then wouldn't the people of the truth have more right, or would be more deserving to be patient for the sake of the call of their Lord, for their Islam, for their Iman? And how can Iman be firm in our hearts, except by sacrificing and striving in the cause of Allah and spending efforts in the cause of Allah, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, what means, and those who strive in our cause, we will lead them to our ways. So we have to bear the problems, or bear the hardship for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal, and we have to be firm. We have to be firm in front of the misconceptions and the doubts and the temptations. We have to stick to our religion, even if we are in a land where we are strangers. We have to stick to our Islam, and we have to raise our children upon this Islam, and we have to prepare for them the things that will cause their Iman to be strong, so that they will be firm after we depart from this world. If we leave them like this, if we abandon them, then the shaitan and the temptations of this world will snatch them, and we would have then, if we ignore them, then we would have committed a crime against them, a very serious crime against them. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will question us. He will ask us about the trust that He made us responsible for. He will ask us about our children and our grandchildren. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, "O you who believe, save yourselves and your families from a fire whose fuel is men or are men and rocks." So we have to be patient, and we have to be firm up until death, so that we will be from those who are successful, so that we will save ourselves and our families from the fire and from being in a state of loss. And then at the end, the Sheikh made dua for all of us, for himself and all of us, to be from the people of success, to save us from being in a state of loss and being in a state of humiliation. He asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to enter all of us in paradise under the banner of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and to make us firm upon the deen and upon obedience to Allah and upon guidance, and until the day we meet our Lord. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you all and bless all of us. Jazakumullahu khairan. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. جزاكم الله خيرا يا شيخ. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you for coming here and for giving this lecture, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward the administration of the International Muslim Organization, the Imams, Imam Hamid Slimi, and our Sheikh, the Qari Abdullah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward all. جزاكم الله خيرا. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.